Hello, everyone. So it's me again, Sir Paul. And for today's discussion, we're going to discuss the introduction to qualitative research. So, research. Qualitative research is an in depth exploratory approach to understanding human behavior. Again and again, ulit-ulit tayo dito sa pagde-define ng qualitative research para hindi natin makalimutan. Experiences and perspectives. It involves collecting detailed, contextual data through methods like interviews, observations, and focus groups. All right. So those are the methods that we usually use when we are conducting qualitative research. So let us now have this sampling in qualitative studies. So we have here three. First, purposeful sampling. The second one is flexibility, and the third one is representativeness. Right? Let us start with the first one. Qualitative researchers purposefully select participants who can provide rich, detailed information relevant to the research questions. Of course, as a researcher, you have this target respondent. Okay? So, for instance, you are aiming for the professional teachers. Okay? So there's a purpose, no? Tinitingnan mo kung sino ang qualified for the study that you are conducting. And for the example, no, for the sake of example, we have, for instance, you're studying about the academic achievement relationship with teaching strategies of teachers, of course. You might consider, no, the professional teachers as your one of the respondents. At the same time, no, ang mga estudyante. Second one, flexibility. Sampling in qualitative studies is flexible, allowing researchers to adjust the samples as needed to gain deeper insights. Okay, so you could adjust the sample based on the needs, no, for you to gain deeper insights that is necessary for your study. Next, of course, we have representativeness. While not aiming for statistical generalization, qualitative samples should represent the diversity of the target population. Of course, there should be a representativeness. Kailangan sa sample, sa whole population na yun, no, kukuha ka ng sample, no, and those samples would be your representative from that population, no, na kung saan doon ka magbabalik, ano, na through this population and here is the sample. No? So, mababalik kami population na yun kasi dun ka kumuha ng sample na yun. Alright? Next, we have purposeful sampling strategies. So, we have here four. We have maximum variation, snowball, criterion, and theoretical. Let us start with maximum variation. What does it mean? Selecting a diverse range of participants to capture a wide spectrum of perspectives. So, under the purposeful sampling, you have this number one, maximum variation. This is to select the diverse range of participants. No? Para ano? What is the purpose? Of course, to gain the insights of these particular participants, their perspectives, no, throughout your study. We also have snowball or chain referral. So using participants to identify additional information, reach cases within their networks. Just for instance, you're conducting a study na very limited lamang ang participant na kakilala mo. So you could ask those participants na kakilala mo to refer other people that is qualified, no, for the study. So for instance, engineer, lima lang kakilala mo. You could ask those engineers, no, to refer to you. No? i-refer ka para madagdagan yung respondents mo. So that's what we call snowball chain referral. We also have criterion sampling, identifying and selecting participants who meet specific predetermined criteria. So as a researcher, you create a criteria who would be your respondents. And upon setting all those criteria, no, and yun ang susundin mo, of course. So if the eyeing participant is not qualified in that criteria, therefore, they should not be part of your study. Next, we also have theoretical sampling, iteratively selecting participants based on emerging insights to develop a theory. Ayan. So if you are conducting so a theoretical study, so most likely you would have this theoretical sampling, because based on the developing theory. You want to develop a theory from this, no? So therefore, theoretical sampling is the deal. Let us have now the sample size considerations. Saturation. What is saturation? Collecting data until no new themes or insights emerge, indicating saturation of the data. Ayan. So, you collect data, no? Then tignan mo, meron bang bago o wala naman, no? So, yun yung pagsasaturate ng data. So, marami na yan. You have gained a lot of data from your respondents. Yan. Then you saturate them. Look for the new themes or insights emerge. Next, we have heterogeneity. So, from the word itself, no? Hetero. Larger samples may be needed for diverse populations to capture a range of perspectives. Hetero, diverse. No? Let us embrace diversity. Yeah. Next, we have practical constraints. Researchers must balance sample size with feasibility, resources, and time limitations. Yan. We should be practical. Okay. As a researcher, it is our duty, no, to do that. And then we have depth over breadth. Qualitative research prioritizes in-depth understanding over broad generalization. Okay. Avoid generalizing things. As much as possible, if you are conducting this type of research, no, be as specific as you can. No? Because what's our priority? In-depth understanding from those respondents, no, that you have interviewed. All right, so for the data collection procedures, of course, we start with interviews, in-depth, semi-structured interviews to gather rich, detailed participant narrative. So we do this usually, for us to gain insights, from our respondents. Since we are doing a qualitative study here, no, you have to conduct an interview. Next, observations. Observing participants in their natural settings to understand context and behavior. Ayan. So, hindi malabo na gawin mo ito if you are doing a qualitative study, no? You observe participants in their natural settings. Okay? So, last time we have discussed all the types of qualitative research and I know that you know already, no, ang mga to. And for the last one, we have focus groups. Facilitated group discussions to explore shared experiences and diverse perspectives. So, ganito yan. So, you will find a room where you can conduct the focus group discussion with your participants. Ano? So, it could be 5 to 10, ano? So, depende sa dami ng respondents mo. So, you could do that. No? So, focus group discussion, you will draw a question and then all of them will answer. No? So, therefore, they will learn from each other experiences at the same time. No? You transcribe all of their answers and then later on analyze. So, that is focus groups. So, ensuring quality and trustworthiness. So, number one, credibility. Techniques like member checking and triangulation to ensure accurate interpretation. Of course, no, as a researcher, it is our duty to have our research credibility. Dapat credible po yan. You do not publish a paper that is not credible. Of course, all the things that you will put to your paper should be real, truth, valid, and reliable. Next po tayo, transferability. Providing rich descriptions to allow others to evaluate the relevance to their context. So that's transferability, ano? Allow others to evaluate the relevance. No? So kung nakandak mo na tong study na to, there should be a chance para magkaroon pa ng study from this study. So because that is the body of research. No? you you have this study and then others could get some insights from this study of yours and then yeah, no, madadagdagan na naman ang body of knowledge natin. Next, dependability. Detailed documentation of the research process to ensure consistency and auditability. Mm, dependable, no? You should have this detailed documentation of your process. So in case, no, that the reviewer asks for this data, the matrix of your data, no, you have something to present. No? Especially sa mga Scopus publications natin, ano, it is very important that we have this. No? Tago natin yan muna for a set period of time, no? And then do not divulge this, no, to others. Only you, no, na involved sa research. And of course, we have confirmability, reflexivity, and transparency to minimize researcher bias and ensure objectivity. Ayan. No? Dapat confirmability. Can we confirm that? Okay. Transparency. Bilang isang researcher, no, it's very important that we possess this. Alright? So, I hope that you have learned a lot for today's session, ano? So, we've done this, and then for the next video, we're gonna discuss more about the process, no, for presenting your research method. So, I hope that you will stay tuned with that. So, I'll see you again on the next one. Please do not forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell para updated kayo sa mga new videos natin. So again, I'm Sir Paul. Thank you so much. Have a great one.